Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, or should I say welcome back. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. We're kicking off. We're going to get back on track here. Thank you so much for your patience while I took the last couple of weeks off. I've really accomplished quite a bit, though right now with everything shoved around the perimeter of the room to make room for the hide-a-bed to be pulled out, it really doesn't look like it. But everything is organized in its general location where it needs to go when I can put the bed away and really put the room back together. My daughter may be visiting the end of September for our birthday, so I'm not even going to worry about trying to fold the bed up, put everything back in place, only to have to turn around and do it again in about 5 weeks. So I'm moving the bed out, and I'm using it for sorting space so that maybe I can finally get the stamps cataloged and put away the way they belong. So that's my goal for the next 5 weeks. Trust me, with all the stamps I have, it may take me the next 5 weeks. So today normally would be a card day, but I thought I would fill you in on some things that I've been working on, what I have in progress. And I'm going to start with this decoration piece right here. And let me get a fine glue bottle here, if I have one that'll run. Ah, man. Let me grab pliers. The bead came off the pin that I use to seal my glue. I wasn't sure if that pin was going to come out. So now let's see if we can get glue to come out of here. That's the other tricky part. We are in business. Okay, so I've been working on a napkin challenge for several weeks, a couple of months. And I decided it was time to get these done. I had initially done the back, didn't like the way the back came out, so I redid, flipped the coasters over and redid them. I can still enter them as a monthly project for Maddie at Spectrum Art Creations in our monthly challenge because I bought the napkins from her and I got the coasters from her and I got the baker's twine from her. So the baker's twine you might have seen in that last haul. And I'm really glad I got that because it was the only baker's twine I had that was white with silver in it. So I'm going to go ahead and just let those glue down. When they are dry, I'm going to go around the edge of them with a black marker or a black Stabilo pencil and give them a little bit of highlight. But I coated the coaster with white chalk paint. And then I glued the napkin down using Maddie's napkin glue. And then the butterfly, I cut out of another section of the napkin and I glued it to a piece of vellum so that it had a little bit more stability to it. And then I brought over a piece, get my tweezers out here. I did not have any black wire. So what I did was I took a piece of silver beading wire and painted it black with my black perma marker. And then I put a dab of E6000 on the ends, and I put these little brown seed beads on there. And this became, I'm going to leave that right there, this became the antennae for my butterfly before I glued him into place. So that was one project. I have 4 of these done, except I need to glue the butterfly and the words. The words came from a Tim Holtz Chat Talk book. Okay, so there's one project done. Now, Maddie is also having 2 monthly challenges. I really need to find a cap for this pen, this glue, before it dries on me. I really wish they would make these bottles to where they just really truly cap the way they're supposed to. We'll work on that later. But she has 2 challenges going on. One is an art panel challenge, where we do a 4x6 or a 5x7. Now I had 18 by 18 inch square sheets of the board backing that came from the flare square carpets that we put in here in the studio. I had a whole box of them. Because this room is, let's see, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 by 16. So I had plenty of these. So I went over them with a coat of chalk paint first to kind of tone down the writing a little bit because I wanted to leave the brown backing. And then I went over them with a coat of gesso so that they will work with just whatever medium I want to throw at them. And so this is the weekly challenge sheet that I will be using for Maddie's art panel challenge. Then, and I had shown you this book before, the mixed media 9x12 sheets that I had gotten to use this for Maddie's art journal challenge. I got to thinking that's an awfully big sheet to start working on. So I decided to cut them down in half. So they are now 6x9. And I will be able, once I do the art journal on the side, then I can, I want to ring bind them and put them on rings. So this is going to be my pages for Maddie's art journal challenges. And I'm going to try getting those caught up in the next week or two. We're only like 3 weeks in, so I'm fine with that. Okay, next. Remember, I was using this box to keep my ink pads in for working on the desk. And I had the slip guard in here, and that was fine. But I found that this was a little too deep to work in. I mean, it's 1.5 inches deep. And it was really hard to get in here, even with this, to get in here and get my ink. So what I did, I had this in my studio, and it is a Project Life tray. So I cut the mats down to fit the slots here, spray painted it teal, and now it's perfect size for my, it's now perfect size for my ink pads. And it has a slip guard, so I can do this and my pad's not going to go anywhere, and I have my ink. So I have one there for my walnut stain that I use for mostly for my, you know, the brownish distressing. I have my Memento Tuxedo Black, and then I have the 4x6 tray that I have my dry baby wipes in. So with this and my little squirt bottle that I've always got a damp cloth handy to use. So that was one of my other projects I worked on. There was something else I was going to show you. Oh, I can show you. Well, maybe I can, kind of, sort of. I don't know how much of this is going to show in camera, but I broke down and bought this tray cart from We Are Memory Keepers. There are 3, 4, 5, 6 trays on here. Finally broke down and bought it so that I had a place to put projects in progress. And the neat thing about these is it gives you a place to, if you've got things that you need to let dry. So I have, I left off one tray second from the bottom, so it's deep enough that I can set my Tim Holtz Sidekick and my Stampin' Up! Mini cutter down on the very bottom shelf. Then I have four trays that I can lay projects on. Well, actually 3 project trays. And then the top one, there's an empty spot in the center, and so it's not real stable for putting anything heavy on, which is where I want to set my project box, where I'm keeping everything that I'm using for a particular project, like I had for the Christmas one. So when Bob gets home in a week and a half, I'm going to have him cut a board to set in place of the tray so that it will be more stable for me to set my project box on. Sure, that empties up another tray, but I can use the trays and set them over on my work table for other projects that I'm working on so the trays don't go to waste. And here's an example of one that I'm working on. Well, I have one here, and they just slide off of the rolling cart. And this is the one that I have the Christmas stuff from Maddie on, from that last haul video that I did for Letters to Santa. And so all the stuff that I need to work with this is sitting there. I hadn't put this one away yet, so we're good there. I've also been working on cataloging all of my inks. Oops. I missed the slot. There we go. And an example of that is with my pinks. I have the pinks all done. I've gone through to see what re-inkers I have. Made sure I had a spot for every re-inker. I've re-inked all of the spots or made new spots and labeled everything so I know what I have. And then I've also done a coordinating dauber, finger dauber to go with them. I have done the neutrals and the pinks before things got interrupted. I still have, you know, the rest of the rainbow to go. So that's what I'm working on with that. When I get that finished more to a completion, because what I want to do is I want to take and I want to build the viters in here so I can put these in here in the same order that the ink spots are in their box, so I know instantly which dauber I need. So I've still got that to do, but I think I'm going to wait until I get all of the daubers done, and then I can go back and I can do all of those at the same time. There will be a Tag Tuesday tomorrow. I've been inspired by Ori, and I will link her video tomorrow to show you the one that inspired me. Remember, she's on the design team for Maddie for Spectrum Art Creations. And in July and August, we had to buy Christmas items to take part in a Christmas challenge, and we had to buy Minte items to take part in a Minte challenge. And that runs all of July and through the end of August. So tomorrow we're going to do a Christmas tag using the ephemera from that Letters to Santa kit. So we're going to be playing with, let me see if I can get them. We're going to be playing with these. And I think these are the, yeah, these are the ephemera packs. And we're going to be playing with these tomorrow to make a Christmas tag. So come back and join me tomorrow as we spend this week getting back on track on a regular rotation of what's going on in the studio. Thanks for joining me. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and creative blessings.